Hello everyone, I'm Mickey Trowbridge and welcome to your practice. This is going to be a deep twisting and outer thigh and hip focused class, meant to be placed after you've been sitting for a good chunk of your day or have been working for a long period of time, but honestly could be used whenever it feels nice. We're going to get started down on our backs in the shape of constructive rest pose for your legs. So knees bent, feet wide, knees falling in on each other, and hands resting on that low belly. Let's take a few moments to settle in here into the breath and into a more kind of mindfully connected relationship with our body. Just feeling the air, the inhale and the exhale move in and out. And all of the things distracting you from your day, everything that was placed right before you got onto your mat, just start to let it settle and be set aside for a bit. Let's feel those inner thighs starting to soften, deepening away from the belly. And as that softening occurs, begin to invite a sense of dropping in to the low belly. And we'll slide the arms out to a T or a goalpost shape. Let's wiggle the feet into hip width, let those knees separate. And we're going to cross your right leg over the left, like you're sitting in a chair. Really root into that right shoulder and right arm. And let's begin to drop those knees to the left, but only about 50% of the way to the ground. So you're on the pinky edge of that left foot. The right shoulder and arm are rooting as those knees start to fall toward the left. You might be less than 50% of the way to the ground, but at most halfway there. Just feel again the fullness of the breath in the low belly, that melting of inner thighs away from the belly button. And then we'll come back up to center with those knees. Let the right foot find the ground. And then left leg crosses right leg. Again, just like you're sitting in a chair. Feel that connection of left shoulder and arm to the ground and begin to take those knees to the right, at most 50% of the way toward the floor. Giving yourself the stability you need in that left arm and shoulder, the stability from the core that you need. But then invite that great softening, that deep, deep softening in inner thighs, deep, deep low abdomen and belly. Savoring this for one more full breath in. A little foreshadowing of what's to come. Full breath out. And we'll come on back to center. Go ahead and uncross that left leg. And we're going to float your knees up over the hips, kind of like an upside down table. Let's flex your feet. We're going to bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and create a little bit of a battle. So the thighs are pressing back into the hands are pressing into the thighs. Draw your belly button down toward the floor. Let those shoulders drop down toward the mat. And just try to maintain that battle. Thighs pressing into your hands, hands pressing into the thighs. Maintaining the essence of this effort, let's start to draw your inner feet to touch, those inner knees to touch, and open your arms back out into a T. As though your legs are one leg, we're going to take your knees to the right, maybe 25%, maybe 50%, and then back up to center. We're going to go to the left. So this is going to be our new pattern as we exhale, legs to the left, knowing that you have to come back up, and that's your inhale. We're going to alternate side to side, exhaling into the twist, inhaling back up. And you're in control of how close, how deeply those legs come toward the ground. Some of you might tap the floor and then bring it back up. So let's do a few more to each side. You're in control of the pace, the rhythm, the depth. And try to keep those inner legs hugging inward. And the essence of that battle we created between thighs pressing into hands and hands resisting away. Those of you that want more, you're going to straighten the legs. You'll do the same thing, but feet will come up toward your hands. And then inhale back to center and exhale other side. So it becomes sort of like a half circle, an arch. The feet come toward the hand and then they come to stack over your hips in the center. Let's do one more to each side, whatever this has started to look like for you. And then at the top there, once you come up from the left, the next time, bend your knees. Go ahead and hug your legs in. And let's start to rock and roll up and down your spine. And make your way all the way up and over into table pose. As you find your table, let's stretch that right leg back, toes on the floor. Feel that length through the back of the heel, the back of the calf. And then we're going to take that right leg over to the left. Put the toes back down. Look over your left shoulder. Take a big breath into that outer right hip. And then that right leg is making quite a journey. It's going to come all the way back to where it started, and we're going to step it outside your right hand, as many steps as that takes. Let those toes slightly angle out. Let's tuck your back toes under, lift the knee. Feel that left thigh resist to the sky, active lizard pose. Try to keep the whole right foot glued to the ground, big and little toe side of the foot. We're going to bring your left hand directly under your left shoulder and take your right hand up to the sky. Keep resisting that left thigh toward the ceiling. Maybe look up toward that top hand. And then let the right hand come back down under the shoulder. Look forward. You might start to find a little forward and back sway here. And using momentum or multiple steps when you're ready, that left foot's coming outside the left hand. We're going to bend your knees and either find half squat, football coach, or if you feel ready for it, full malasana. Either way, big and little toe sides of the feet evenly rooted down into the ground. And then slow and steady, root down into your feet, rise up like an elevator, all the way to standing. Let your feet wiggle into hip width. Inhale, hands go up to the sky. And exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Plant your hands. We'll step left, then right, back to plank. As you exhale, chaturanga, drop the knees if you'd like, elbows pointing straight back. Inhaling into the back bend that feels right in this moment. Baby cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog. And then back you go, downward facing dog. As you find your down dog, let's step your feet in maybe 4 to 5 inches closer than normal. We're going to stabilize through that left hand. Reach your right arm underneath the body for that outer left calf, ankle, or shin area. And just pull yourself a little bit underneath that left arm. You can kind of look underneath the armpit, kind of like you're checking out your deodorant for the day. You're welcome. Keep dropping those heels toward the floor. And then let the right hand come back to your downward facing dog. Slowly, slowly bend those knees, come back down to table. And we'll start all of that again on the second side. Left leg stretches back, toes on the floor. Feel the opening of the back of the knee, the length of the back of the leg. And then we'll take that left leg behind us, toes on the floor. Look over that right shoulder. Feel that sensation of whatever that is for you in that outer left hip. And then we're going to bring that left leg all the way around and forward outside the left hand. Toes turn slightly out. Tuck your back toes under, lift that back knee. Let the hips drop so that front thigh is parallelish to the ground. And you're sort of channeling plank here, just that left leg that's different. I'm going to put that right hand under your right shoulder. Let your left hand come up to the sky. As you rotate, keep resisting that right thigh toward the ceiling. Maybe look up if you haven't already, last breath. And we'll let that left hand come down. Look forward, start to find that little sway back and forward. And then right foot outside your right hand. Sound effects encouraged. Half squat or full squat, up to you. 2 full breaths in that squat. Feel the balancing out of weight distribution from little toe to big toe side of the feet. And then slow and steady, up you go. When you've risen, bring those feet to hip width. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. We'll fold, we'll step right, then left, back to your plank. Vinyasa or head to down dog. So I'm going to modify my vinyasa this time for those that want to see it. Knees down, chaturanga to the belly. On the ground, untuck those toes. Little baby cobra. No weight in the hands. And then you'll come back through table and into down dog. We're going to take that shortened down dog again. Feet walk in maybe 4 to 6 inches. Right arm stabilizes. Left arm reaches underneath you for the outer ankle or calf. Just pull yourself under. Heels resisting down, thighs resisting back. And then release that left leg back to your, or left hand back to your down dog. And let's take your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, we'll step your right foot forward between your hands. We're going to come up into crescent lunge. Hands go up to the sky when you're ready. And then we're going to start to lean forward. Bring your hands to your heart. I think about twists as like a shish kebab skewer. And you want to stay on your skewer. So we're going to take left elbow down, right elbow up. You might hover in space here. You might bring the left elbow to the top of the right thigh. You might bring the left elbow outside the right thigh, but just do your best to not lean the head and the shoulders way to the right. Try to stay on that skewer line. If you have the elbow outside the thigh, push the thigh out into the elbow, push the elbow back into the leg. So there's a little bit of that resistance. Feel that left thigh move upward. Last full breath. Maybe challenge yourself by looking sideways or up over that right shoulder. And then exhale, hands come down. So option 1 is going to be to straighten that front leg. If you have blocks, you might grab those in. Folding here of that front straight leg, 2 feet on the ground. Option 2, for those of you that want it, shift onto that right leg, let that left leg come on up to the sky, standing. It's standing splits, but standing leg lift is maybe a more accurate description. Either pose, keep that right outer thigh hugging in and gently back. Those of you playing with standing splits, you might add in some balance, bringing your hands to the back of the ankle or the calf. Now, from wherever you're at, we're going to lower or step that left leg behind your right so that the ankles are crossed, pinky edges of the feet are lined up. although that left foot might be slightly behind the right. Soft bend into both knees, and we're going to take your two hands over toward the right. Blocks might be helpful here. Let yourself fold. And then we'll come back to center. Uncross that left leg. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. We'll go through the vinyasa if you'd like, or meet up in downward facing dog when you're ready. When you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Rising into your crescent lunge. Leaning forward as you feel grounded here, hands to heart. Feel that line of your body. We'll start to rotate on your skewer, right elbow down, left elbow up. Stay here hovering. Tap the right elbow to the thigh or latch it outside. Wherever you're at, feel length from the back heel through the crown of your head. Try to stay on that line as much as possible. And just press that outer left thigh into the elbow, elbow back into the thigh. Drive that right thigh skyward. Last breath or so, maybe you challenge yourself by looking sideways or up. And then as you exhale, we fold. Hands come down. Let that front leg straighten. Add blocks in if it's helpful. Again, you can stay with 2 feet on the ground or come on up to that standing leg lift, blocks or no blocks. And either way, let yourself fold over that front leg. Outer left hip hugs in and back. Those of you maybe playing with balance, one or both hands can come to the back of that left calf. Hands come down if they're off the floor. We're going to move that right leg behind your left, ankles crossed. If it's possible, pinky edges of feet lined up. Put a soft micro bend in the knees, and then we'll take your hands this time over toward the left. Let your head hang between the arms. And then let's come on back to center. Uncross the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And let's make your way back again through your vinyasa or all the way back to down dog, where we will meet. With your next inhale, we'll take your right leg to the sky. We're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit out of the box. Right foot is going to come underneath your left arm over to the left. You're going to straighten that leg, put the pinky edge of the foot on the ground. You could definitely have blocks under hands. Option to stay here, pulling, so the right foot gluing into the ground and kind of pulling back. So you feel that sensation in outer hip. Option to come onto the big toe side of your left foot and take your left hand up to the sky. Fallen triangle. Left hand comes down. Back you go. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath. Let's do that on the opposite side. So left leg lifts. Left knee toward right arm. You're going to kick that left foot underneath your right arm. Come to the pinky edge of the foot. stay here and maybe just pull that left foot back without it moving. Feel the action of movement. Or come onto the big toe of the right foot, big toe side. Right hand to the sky. Fallen triangle. Right hand comes down. Back you go. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. And let's walk, step, or jump your way all the way through to seated and then down onto the floor. So you come on down, knees bent, feet hip width apart, arms alongside the body. Let's bend your elbows into little T-Rex arms. Press those outer shoulders into the floor. Let the heart puff. Press down into your feet. Lift your hips. You can stay here with T-Rex arms for your bridge pose if you'd like, or you can walk those hands underneath you into a clasp. Wiggle those shoulders a little further underneath your back. Deep, deep, steady breaths here into that low belly. And then nice and slow, release the arms, let the hips come down. Let's bring the knees in toward the belly and let those knees go wide, feet together. We're going to reach down, grab onto the edges of the feet, the ankles or the shins for bound angle, Baddha Konasana, but on your back with the feet over your pelvis. Deep breath into those inner thighs. Stay here or separate the feet, opening into happy baby. And no rush, but when you're ready, right back to how we started. Constructive rest pose in the legs, feet wide, knees falling in on each other, hands on low abdomen. Feeling the fullness of your breath in that low belly, low back, outer hip zone. Encouraging a sense of releasing, melting, grounding into the floor through your whole low body. I invite you to stay here as long as you have time for today. But when you are ready or need to begin that process of reawakening and moving back into your day, just be really slow, really gentle, easing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for practicing together today. Namaste.